Can you see the PPT? Are you able to see the PPT? Yes, okay. So you can write, you can just continue. They will not see much growth in their future prices because of a higher payout policy, because of a high payout policy followed by the companies. Because of a high payout policy followed by the companies. Okay, so we'll just, someone is joining over. So what is the linkage between share price, earning and dividend? Let's see. Okay, first example. Suppose a company estimates its earning, okay, earning per share at present to be 6.67, and suppose it is for following a policy of 100% dividend payout, no retention. Retention is 0. So what you will see, the company's dividend per share will equal its earning per share because there is no retention, no. So whatever earning per share is there, it will be given as dividend. So its earning and dividend will not grow since it is not invest anything in the future earning. Okay. So if what would be the price of this share? If the opportunity cost is 12%, fine. For such a company, what will be the price of the share if the opportunity cost is given as 12%? There's no retention. Okay? Everything is paid out. So earning per share is same as the dividend paid. Got Agni? 5.95. No. Present value of the share, how it will be sold as? Okay. So we'll see that. So your formula is P0 equal to dividend in year 1 divided by KE opportunity cost minus the growth rate. So this is same as your earning per share in year 1 and the distribution ratio, which is your 1 minus the this growth rate. It is your KE minus this growth rate is R into B. So in this case, it is your earning per share is given as 6.67. Retention ratio is 1 minus 0, nothing to be retained. Okay. So this is opportunity cost is 12% minus your growth rate is 0 because the company will not see any growth there. 6.67 divided by 0.12. So that gives you how much? Calculate. Because there is no growth rate. Everything is distributed. Your G is 0. How much are you getting? Just find 6.67 by 0.12. It is your 55.58 is the answer. So it is your 55.58. Should be your share valuation at present. So let us proceed. Let's see the PPT, Agni. No? So next is, you can observe here that since the retention ratio was 0, so your dividend was same as your earning per share. Nothing was saved for the future. You can simply get, your formula becomes your earning per share divided by your opportunity cost, which already you have got it. This is how you can get your value of the share if the retention ratio of the company is 0. It is not retaining anything for the future. This is your formula. Proceeding. Second is, suppose the company would pay a dividend of 4%, 4 per share. Now it is giving a dividend of 4 per share in the first year and reinvest the return earning uh, at a rate of return of 20%. In this case, what is the payout ratio, retention ratio, and growth rate you will calculate. Okay. Now suppose the company is giving a dividend of 4 per share in the first year, and whatever the rest is reinvested. Then in this case, what is the company's payout ratio you will find, what is the retention ratio you will find, and what is the growth rate you will calculate. So let us do that. Payout ratio means it's dividend divided by the earning per share. So let us go to the board and solve. So first is the payout ratio. Payout ratio is equal to your dividend divided by earning per share. In this case, what is the dividend given? 4. Earning per share is how much? 6.67. That gives you, what is the payout ratio? How much it is paying out? How much? Calculate. Tell me the answer. So payout ratio is dividend divided by the earning per share. Dividend is 4. It is giving the dividend of 4, and the share price is 6.67. What is the payout ratio? How much you have paid? Is a 60%, correct. It is your 0.6. So 60%. Okay. Second is retention ratio. You know, it is just the rest. So your retention ratio is 1 minus your this payout ratio. Payout. So in this case, it is your 1 minus 60, which is your 40%. Is the retention ratio. 40%. Third is growth rate. What is your growth rate formula? It is your retention ratio. You know your formula was B into rate of return on equity. Okay. So it is your retention ratio. You have just calculated, which is your 40% into your return on equity. Return on equity is given as how much? Return on equity is given as 20% in the question. So how much you are getting? Calculate. Retention ratio is 40%, and this is your 20%. So that gives you a growth rate of how much? So what is the growth rate? Retention ratio you got as 40. How much it is? Yeah, 8%. So it is your 40 retention ratio, and return on equity is given as 20. So that gives you 8% as the growth rate, 0.08. So it is your 8% is the growth rate. So let us continue. Aman has just passed on this slide to you. So next is, thus, if the company is following a uh, payout ratio instead of just retaining everything, then you can see that it is better further growth. It shows further growth for the company. Now, what should be the price of this share of this company? Calculate the share price of this company. If this is the case, then what will be the valuation of share of this company? There we saw what was the price of company which was not giving anything, no retention ratio was there. In this case, with a retention ratio of 40, what is the price of the share? Let us calculate. Tell me the answer. In this case, your P0 will be earning per share in year one. Then your distribution ratio, then your opportunity cost minus the growth rate. Your growth rate is R into P, or it is simply your G, remember. It is simply the growth rate. So you can write it as your simply what is your this one. This is your dividend. It's the dividend it is giving. Okay, and this is your KE, opportunity cost minus growth rate, because this whole thing is your dividend. Earning per share into whatever is giving out is your dividend. So how much is the share price? Earning per share is given as 6.67. Your returns got calculated. No, not 33.35, Agni, because earning per share is how much? 6.67. Then your retention ratio is 40%. So that gives you 0.4 whole divided by this is your K is the opportunity cost minus your RB is 20% rate of return, okay, into your retention ratio is 0.4. This is how you are calculating. This is the formula. Tell me how much it is. Is 100, yes. Answer is 100. So you got the price of this share is 100. So we'll go back. Agni, did you get? So I think this is all that we have. So this is the last one. So you can see in the previous company where there was no retention, everything was given out in dividend. You got a share price of only 55.58, and the company where which is retaining some amount and then distributing the rest of the dividend, you saw the present share price is 100. This difference is what is known as the value of growth opportunities. Let's conclude it here. Okay, the difference between, you write the difference between the share prices, the difference between the share prices of a company with a positive retention ratio, relative to a company with zero retention ratio, determines the value of growth opportunities, in the market, value of growth opportunities in the market. Done. This is all that you have.